Yes! Hello today. Look, we've got Whims, the guild. Let's cue the intro.
Welcome to my channel, where cringy intros are cringy.
So as you can see, we are dominating, and as a result, this, you might be wondering, is what is this? This is a Le Guild, this is a Le Whims, this is the Phil G Guild from my community Discord. This is where I congregate all my minions and all my children and have them do battages against other guilds like Fusion Z. They're losing, and there's only 23 minutes left. I think my children are winning. It's good. It's good stuff. This is my free-to-play account. This is Emily's account. So as a result, you know, they're doing good stuff. So if you want to join, links in the description below. But you also got to hit the 700k minimum, so 700,000 points. And if you're not doing that, you're going to get le boot. You're going to get kicked in the rear, you know? Just kicked in the hiney. Kind of like Sushi Man's butt, but like in all of his glory. That sort of thing. But with that being said, let's actually go into the points, how you gain points, where you gain points, and why you gain points. And first up, we have energy. So energy. So how does energy or energy relate into points? Well, it's very simple. Every single time you spend energy, you are gaining points. It's actually that simple. Like, you might be wondering, but how? I don't know. The game says yes. Toshi said, I'm gonna do this and that, and this is how it works. And we say, okay. So as a result, anytime you were to spend points, so for example, if we were to go to this battle gauntlet and we were to actually do one battage, we'd actually gain points. If we were to spend, let's say, 100 energy on, whoops, sorry guys. If we were to spend 100 energy on, let's say, this Kaba thing and decided, I want to spend 100 energy on this event, you could do that and you would gain points. Now, one thing you really need to know is that it's minuscule points. Like, it really doesn't give you a lot. So if you're looking for, like, lots of points, well, I have some problems for you, mon chéri. You're not gonna get yourself a lot of points. So I wouldn't really recommend this on its own. I will later on down the line talk to you about a more efficient way to spend your energy while also gaining a lot of points. So with that being said, let's move on to number 2, and I'll see you when I see you. And numero dos is co-op, raids, and PvP. Now, if you're wondering why, I don't know. Again, the game says yes, so I say okay. So how many points do you gain when you do co-op? You do about 400 points, so if you're doing 400 times 10 battage, although I don't really think anyone really wants to do 10 battage when it comes to co-op, well, you're still getting, like, if you did only the 3 battage, you're getting about 1,200 points, which is, ironically, a lot more points than if you were to just spend a ton of energy over and over again, assuming you kept on doing co-op over and over again. So as a result, co-op is actually a more efficient way to get energy than spending energy. However, let's be real, most people don't actually want to spend so much time on co-op to actually fight and get the points that is necessary to stay in the guilds or not get kicked from a guild, assuming you're, like, worried about getting kicked from a guild. So let's now move to the worst way to get points, and that's going to be PvP. So I'll see you when I, switch it. And here we are at PvP, and I can tell you this without a shadow of a doubt. If you are looking to gain tons of guild points, this is not the place to do it. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because I hope you don't think that this is going to be the way to do it. You can play PvP, for sure. Play PvP, okay? Just one thing I want you to note is that if you're doing this mainly and nothing else, you better join a very, very casual guild, because otherwise you are not going to be gaining enough points for people to want to keep you. So, time management is a very, very, very solid thing to have. With that being said, let's go to raid battle, because that's going to be the third spot out of these 3, and it is ironically also the best spot to raid points. And here we are. It is a raid battle with Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, and ironically, also the best place to do lots of, farming of points. And it's also the easiest out of the 3 when it comes to, like, gaining points and also winning. Because everyone is pretty much playing this. Nobody's really DCing. And when people do DC, now we get bots. So it's good. Feels good. Okay, so as a result, there isn't really much to say other than if you just keep farming this, you'll get 1,000 points per win. You do this 10 times, you get 10,000 points, you do it 100 times, you get 100,000 points. And that's already 1/7 of the way there. Now, of course, are you going to really do 100 battles? Maybe. I don't know. Some people are. Some people are doing way more. I know on my alt account, I've done, I think, over almost 300. On my main account, I've done over like almost 300 battles. So, yeah. It's not a lot, but it's not a little. Actually, it is a lot if you really think about it. But that's basically the best way out of these three methods, but it's still not even the best way even then. So let's now move to number 3, and I'll explain to you what's even better than this. And at numero 3, we have Summons and Zenkais. Now, you might be wondering, why are summons pretty good? Well, I don't know. They give you, like, the Z Awakening stuff, and that counts as medals somehow in some aspect. And then when you get Z medals, it's because you already have something at 14 stars, which, when you get a Z medal, by the way, it doubles. So you get double the points instead of just one set of points, which is actually pretty cool. And that's probably why they made it so, importante. But with that being said, summons are still not even as good as what I'm about to promote next, which is Zenkais. So if we go to Zenkais real quick, Zenkais can give you about like 50 to 60k points per just one consecutive summon. So that's kind of insane. Now, I could be wrong there. It could be less. It could be a little bit more. But the point is, it's roughly around there. And as a result, you can literally, with just one Zenkai 7 summon, pretty much make almost half, if not a little bit more than half when it comes to 700k. Now, I'm not saying you should do this every single time because, let's be real, Zenkais are finite, and you should really only focus on Zenkais when there's a Zenkai unit that you actually want to have on your team. But with that being said, if you do need to, like, catch up and you feel like you need a Zenkai anyways, you can do it. It's an actual method. I just don't recommend it as the method, as there are still 2 more efficient ways to get guild points without actually having to do Zenkai summonings. But of course, if you are looking to Zenkai a specific unit, then by all means, do it. Because if you're also lagging on guild points, well, you're going to more than make up for it as a result. And at number 4, we have Legends Road. And that's right, any Legends Road event that is a Legends Road that is open and that says Legends Road will work for this. Because this is a dual method and you'll see this in a very short reason why. So pick any one. So let's pick the Goku one, but it also applies to the Trunks. If you were to click on the leftmost side, there is what we call medals. Now, each one has a specific type of medal. This one is turtle medals. The other one is something medals. I don't know. It's je ne sais quoi medals, okay? But I don't know. Point is, whenever you pick up these medals, you are gaining points. In fact, you're gaining points by not only spending energy, but you're also getting points by spending le medals, by actually more receiving them than spending them. When you receive the medals, you gain points. And when you gain the points and the medals, you're also gaining a whole bunch of points through the energy, and that stacks up over time. So if you were to keep on grinding this, you can actually easily hit over 100k points out of nowhere really, really fast. Just do that like once or twice, and I think you're already there. That's how crazy it is if you were to do it this way. Now, I'm not saying that you should like go hardcore every season doing this because there is still a more effective method. However, if you are lagging behind and you need a couple of minutes, there's a couple of minutes to go, and you need those extra 100 or 200k points, then this is definitely the method to do it. And as a result, you'll most likely be safe, and it'll work out. So as a result, if you're looking for something to really pick it up when you're really down, this is the way to do it. And finally, the final point that I have on this list, and the best one out of them all, it is Adventures, or commonly known as Adventures. Yes, Adventures. There we go. Adventures are fantastic, and they just matter so much. Now, you might be wondering, why should I do Adventures? Who should do Adventures? Which does Adventures? And I will say yes to that, because you should do your Adventures no matter what. Now, Adventures do a couple of things. They get you a whole bunch of resources that you can spend for energy, other resources like Rising Souls. It's amazing. It does so much stuff for you. So if you're not doing your Adventures, you're just hurting your account and you're making your life harder. So do your Adventures. They're also, ironically, the best way to get points. And there are multiple ways of setting up your Adventures. You can set up your Adventures in the most lazy fashion possible, which is what I do, and it still does very well. You can do 7 hours, which means you're doing it about 2 times a day or max 3 times a day, 7-hour adventures with one 23-hour adventure applied as well. And that still gets you a ton of points. Now, if you were to do 3 hours per time per day, I think you can do about like, I don't know, maybe 15. Does that even work? 3 times 15? No, I don't think so. It's like 3 times like 7 or something. I don't know. I don't know how to do math right now. I don't want to do math. The point is, if you do 3 hours multiple times in the day before you go to bed and then switch to 7 hours, that's even more effective. Or alternatively, the best way to do it, you could do 1-hour adventures and keep on doing it until you want to go to bed. Set your 7-hour adventures, go to bed, wake up, and then switch it back to 1 hour and just keep on doing it that way. Whichever way you decide to do it, you're still going to get tons of points, and it is definitely the most effective way to do it. Now, you might be wondering because, and I have to actually put this part in the actual video, well, I only have 3 open slots. The other 4 are locked, and I will explain to you how to do it. So for the first 2 slots, let's go through this step by step. So if we go to menu, and then we go to exchange shop, and then we just scroll all the way down to rare metals. We'll then enter rare metals, go down all the way to, here we go, 10 adventure slot keys. We go to that, and let's say we want up to 250. All right, so we click that, we get the 250, and as you can see, it doesn't actually eat up too much resources when it comes to rare metals. Now, of course, this is eating up rare metals, so if you are not really able to afford too many rare metals to give away, then luckily this won't eat them up too hard. So as a result, you can definitely do this even if you are trying to save rare metals, as we are getting tons of rare metals recently, and it will only continue as you do other game modes. So with that being said, that's just one of the most effective ways to do it. However, the next 2 is a lot harder, and even though this account can do it, I choose not to allow that due to the fact that we're still trying to save, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So if we just go back, and then we go all the way down to Z metals. Now, these Z metals are quite hard to attain when you're new, and it's also just as difficult if you are still struggling to get everything to 14 stars. So if we're to go down here, as you can see, it costs 1,000 Z metals, and that's insanity. That we could not keep that up. Like, if I were to do that, let me just give you an idea. So if I were to pick up 10, just 10, I'm already losing basically an eighth of my entire resource pool. So it's just not worth it. It really isn't, and as a result, that's why we're not picking it up. So the way to get Z metals, because it's quite important to talk about it, it's by summoning and by getting every single unit to 14 stars. And then once you've done that, keep on getting duplicates of them. And because you can't actually pick up their awakening power, they'll give you Z metals in exchange. And that is how you're going to do it. Now that takes time, and as a result, be prepared to only do 5 out of the 7 for the most part until you reach that point where you can start actually gaining a ton of Z metals, and then you're able to just do your adventures at all 7 of them. But with that being said, guys, that is the 5 most effective ways to be a productive guild member to your Soviet communist guild state, that is whatever guild that you're a part of. And if they're not raising some sort of communist song, then I think you're part of a capitalist guild, which in that case, you know, I don't know, you might get ordered around or something. We want it to be fair, share, and equal. I feel like I'm starting to become propaganda, and I don't like this. But anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't hesitate to tickle the like button if you haven't already, subscribe, and click on the bell for more notifications so you never miss another one of my videos. Have yourselves a salty day, and I will see you in the next video.
Thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a time, Phil G. Phil G.